Hello and welcome to this lecture. Today we'll establish the foundational pillars of our Introduction to Management course. Our comprehensive agenda covers the definition of management and the debate regarding its status as both a science and an art. We will then examine the practical side of the field, managerial functions, organizational levels, types of managers, and essential skills required by managers. Finally, we will conclude by tracing the historical evolution of management thought. Let's begin. Before we can fully grasp the concept of management, we must establish the context in which it operates. That is organization. An organization is defined as a systematic arrangement of people united to accomplish a specific purpose. The organization serves as the primary setting for managerial action. This definition is universal, applying equally to for-profit corporations, non-profit charities, and government agencies. Despite their differences, all organizations are built upon three fundamental characteristics. The first one is distinct purpose. It includes a clear goal or set of objectives the entity aims to achieve. The second characteristic is deliberate structure. It is a defined framework that clarifies the roles and relationships among members. The third characteristic is people. It includes human capital, essential for working together to reach those objectives. Historically, several philosophers have provided their own perspectives on the definition of management. A comprehensive modern definition provided by Henry Fayol describes management as a process of planning, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling resources, including people, finances, materials, and information to achieve specific organizational goals effectively and efficiently. Additionally, Mary Parker Follett described management as the art of getting things done effectively and efficiently through and with other people. Efficiency means doing the thing correctly. It refers to the relationship between inputs and outputs. Efficiency seeks to minimize resource costs. On the other hand, effectiveness means doing the right things. It focuses on goal attainment. Management is inherently a dual discipline, functioning simultaneously as both a science and an art. This duality highlights the complexity of the field, where structured methodology meets human intuition. Effective management requires mastering both perspectives. The scientific side of management is grounded in logic, structure, and evidence. Management as science has systematic frameworks. It relies on established theories, such as tailored scientific management or Fayol's administrative theory are scientific frameworks used to provide structured methods for analyzing organizational process. Management as science has data-driven decisions. It emphasizes quantitative methods. By utilizing financial analysis, performance metrics, and operational research, managers make choices backed by hard evidence rather than guesswork. Management as science has predictable and standardized principles and process. Science seeks consistency. By applying proven principles and creating standard operating procedures, managers can anticipate outcomes and ensure uniformity across the organization. The artistic side of management focuses on human element, creativity, and adaptability. As an art, management has interpersonal dynamics. Management requires deep emotional intelligence. Skills like communication and motivation are essential for connecting with teams and building trust. As an art, management has creativity and innovation. While science follows rules, arts break them. Managers must often think creativity to solve unique problems and formulate strategies that stand out in dynamic environments. As an art, management has adaptability and influence. Management is not rigid. It requires the artistic ability to read a room, adapt to specific cultural contexts, and inspire people through influence rather than just authority. Generally, management is both art and science. As science, it provides a systematic approach necessary for stability. It draws on historical theories and rigorous data analysis to make decisions. When managers use statistics to predict market trends or implement standard operating procedures to improve efficiency, they act as scientists. They are looking for predictability, consistency, and logical outcomes. As an art, management deals with the variables that cannot be put into the spreadsheet. That's people. This is where soft skills come into play. It involves the creativity to innovate when a standard playbook fails, and the empathy to understand what motivates a specific employee. Next, we examine the levels of management within an organization. This concept refers to the hierarchical structure that defines the scope of authority, responsibility, and decision-making power at various stages. A well-defined hierarchy is essential for maintaining a seamless flow of communication and ensuring operational efficiency. Generally, organizational management is categorized into 3 distinct levels. They are top level, middle level, and first levels. At the peak, top management holds the highest authority. Top management responsible for setting overall direction, strategy, and organizational goals. Top management refers to the highest level of decision makers in an organization, responsible for seeking overall direction, strategy, and organizational goals. Their decisions impact the entire entity and require a vision that aligns with the long-term objectives. Some examples of top management positions are Chief Executive Officer, responsible for the overall operations and strategic directions of the organization. Chief Financial Officers, they are responsible for financial planning, risk management, and financial reporting of the company. Chief Operating Officer, they are responsible to oversee operational functions and ensures efficiency across the organization. Chief Marketing Officer directs marketing strategies and initiates to enhance brand awareness and drive sales. Chief Technology Officer, they are responsible for the technological direction and innovation, overseeing the technological development and IT strategies. The second one is middle-level management. Middle-level management is located in the middle of the pyramid. The middle management serves as a bridge between the senior management and the lower-level management. They are responsible for implementing strategies and policies set by the top-level management. Some examples of middle management positions are Operations Manager, oversees daily operations, ensuring that process runs smoothly and efficiently. Project Manager is responsible for planning, executing, and closing projects, coordinating between teams and stakeholders. The third example is Human Resource Manager. The Human Resource Manager manages employee relations, recruitment, and workforce development within the organization. The fourth example is Sales Manager. A sales manager directs the sales team, develops strategies to meet sales targets, and builds customer relationships. Another example is Marketing Manager. Marketing Manager plans and implements marketing strategies, overseeing campaigns and brand management efforts. Finally, lower-level management is focused on the daily operations of the company, where supervisors and team leaders play essential roles in guiding their teams to execute tasks effectively. Some examples of lower-level management positions are Team Leader, oversees a specific group of employees, ensuring daily tasks are accomplished efficiently and effectively. The second example is Supervisor, manages the performance of frontline employees, providing guidance and resolving operational issues. And the third example of lower-level management is Shift Manager, responsible for managing a specific shift, coordinating staff schedules, and ensuring operational continuity. And the fourth example is Department Manager, oversees the operations and performance of a specific department, focusing on departmental goals and employee management. Another example is Frontline Manager, directly supervises staff who interact with customers or handle day-to-day tasks, ensuring service quality and adherence to procedures. Let's explore the type of managers in an organization. Organizations typically categorize managers based on function, skills, and focus, resulting in various managerial roles that contribute to overall effectiveness. The first type of manager is functional manager. Functional managers are responsible for specific departments or functions within an organization. Functional managers ensure that their areas operate efficiently and align with the company's strategic goals. For instance, a marketing manager focuses on developing strategies to boost brand awareness and sales, while an HR manager oversees recruitment, employee relations, and compliance with labor laws. The second example is general manager. General managers oversee multiple functions or departments within an organization, possessing a broader scope of work. They are characterized by their ability to integrate various operational areas and ensure alignment within an organizational objectives. Project managers focus on specific projects, guiding their planning, execution, and completion. Their role is essential in ensuring that projects meet deadlines, stay within budget, and align with organizational goals. Line managers are directly responsible for overseeing production and operations within their teams. They play a critical role in the day-to-day management of the company, ensuring that employees meet performance objectives and adherence to operational standards. Line managers usually act as a first point of contact for employee issues and are vital in executing strategic directives. Staff managers provide specialized support to line managers by offering expertise in areas like finance and human resources. Their relationship with line managers is collaborative as they help inform decisions and guide functional processes. Lastly, team managers focus on team dynamics and performance. They foster collaboration and communication among team members to enhance productivity and morale. In modern organizations, team managers are pivotal for agile methodologies and cross-functional projects, emphasizing adaptability and teamwork in achieving shared goals. Let us examine the core managerial skills in an organization. To navigate the complexity of an organization effectively, managers must possess a specific blend of competencies. According to Robert Katz's model, there are three fundamental categories of managerial skills. They are conceptual, human, and technical skills. Conceptual skill is the ability to think abstractly and visualize the organization as a whole. This involves strategic planning, analyzing complex situations, and understanding how different parts of the business interact. It is crucial for top-level management. The second skill is human or interpersonal skill. Human or interpersonal skill is the ability to work well with other people, both individually and in groups. This includes communication, motivation, leadership, and conflict resolution. This skill is equally important for all levels of management. And the third skill of management is technical skill. A technical skill is a specific knowledge and proficiency required to perform specific tasks or use specific tools. This involves how to knowledge relevant to specific industry or department. This is very crucial for first-level management. We now turn our attention to the functions of management. Management is fundamentally defined as the process of achieving organizational objectives through the efforts of others. To accomplish this, managers must navigate a continuous cycle of 5 distinct yet interrelated functions or activities. These functions are planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. Together, they provide a structured framework that guides managers in executing their duties effectively and efficiently. The first function of management is planning. Planning is the process of defining goals, establishing standards to achieve those goals, and developing plans to integrate and coordinate activities. It provides direction, reduces uncertainty, and aligns resources for optimal effectiveness. Planning is a primary function of management because it sets the stage for all other activities. It involves defining goals, establishing strategies to achieve them, and developing plans to integrate and coordinate activities. The planning function of management is a fundamental activity that lays the groundwork for achieving organizational goals. Planning involves setting objectives and determining course of action to achieve those objectives. Let us examine the process of planning. The first step of planning is setting objectives. It is a stage of determining what the organization aims to achieve in the future. And the second step of planning is identifying resources. It is a process of assessing available resources, including personnel, finances, and technology. The third step of planning is assessing the situation. It is a process of analyzing internal and external environments to understand challenges and opportunities. The fourth step of planning is developing strategies. It is a process of formulating strategies that align with objectives and available resources of the company. The fifth step of planning is implementing plans. It is a process of putting the strategies into action through coordinated efforts. And the final step of planning is monitoring and evaluating. It is a process of reviewing progress and making necessary adjustments to stay on track. Next, we examine the importance of planning. Without planning, an organization lacks direction, leading to wasted effort and confusion. Planning provides direction. Clearly defined goals and plans guide the organization's actions. Planning enhances efficiency. By anticipating future needs and allocating resources effectively, planning reduces waste and optimizes productivity. Planning reduces uncertainty. Planning helps organizations prepare for potential challenges and changes in the environment. Planning facilitates decision-making. A well-structured plan serves as a framework for making informed decisions. Planning promotes coordination. Planning ensures that all departments and teams work towards common goals, enhancing overall cohesion. Let us explore the classification or types of planning. Plans can be classified on different bases or dimensions. The first dimension is scope, and the second one is time. The third dimension is use. Based on the scope or breadth dimension, plans can be classified into strategic, tactical, and operational. A strategic plan is an organizational-wide plan that is formulated by top-level management in consultation with the board of directors and middle-level managers. A tactical plan refers to the implementation of activities and the allocation of resources necessary for achievement of organizational objectives. An operational plan is connected with the day-to-day activities of the organization and formulated by lower-level management in consultation with middle-level management. The second classification of plan is based on time dimension. Time dimension of plan refers to the periods for which the planning is intended. Based on the length of time a plan covers, 3 types of plan are identified. The first one is long range, the second one is middle range, the third one is short range. The third classification of plan is based on the use dimension. The use dimension refers to the extent to which plans will be used on a recurring basis. Based on this dimension, there are 2 types of plans. They are standing plans and single-use plans. Standing plans provide an ongoing guidance for performance recurring activities. Example: mission, vision, policies, rules and regulations are standing plans. Single-use plans are aimed at achieving a specific goals and will resolve when the goal has been achieved. For example, programs, projects and budgets are single-use plans. The second function of management is organizing. Organizing is the process of building the structure of the organization. Once a plan is in place, managers must organize the enterprise to execute it. Organizing involves arranging and structuring work to accomplish the organization's goals. The organizing function of management involves arranging resources and activities to achieve the organizational objectives effectively and efficiently. It plays a critical role in shaping the structure and framework within which the organization operates. Organizing is a process of establishing a system of tasks and authority that shapes the organization. This function determines what tasks need to be done, who will do them, how tasks are grouped, who reports to whom, and where decisions are made. It creates the organization chart. This function also creates the organization chart. Now let us see the key components of organizing function of management. The first key component is division of labor. Division of labor is assigning specific tasks to individuals or groups based on their skills and expertise, enhances efficiency. This specialization allows employees to become more proficient in particular areas. The second key component is departmentalization. Departmentalization is a process of grouping related tasks or activities into departments or teams. Common approaches includes functional, by function, geographical, grouping by location, or product-related, grouping by product types, and process-related, grouping activities by process. And the third key component is hierarchy of authority. Hierarchy of authority establishes a clear line of authority and communication within the organization. This hierarchy defines who reports to whom and facilitates decision-making and accountability. And the fourth key component of organizing function is coordination. Coordination ensuring that different departments or teams work together harmoniously. Effective coordination minimizes conflicts and fosters collaboration towards common goals. Let us see the main importance of organizing function. Organizing enhances efficiency. It clearly defines roles and responsibilities. And the second importance is and organizing facilitates communication. A structured organization fosters clear communication channels, which are essential for effective collaboration and information flow. Organizing promotes resource utilization. Effective organizing ensures that resources such as human, finance, and technology are used optimally, minimizing waste and maximizing productivity. A well-organized structure can more easily adapt to changes in the external environment, such as market fluctuations or technological advancements. Another importance of organizing function is organizing supports goal achievement. Organizing aligns resources and tasks within the organizational objectives, ensuring that everyone is working towards the same goals. Organizational structure defines how tasks are allocated, coordinated, and supervised within the organization. It shapes the workflow and influences both communication and decision-making process. The choice of the organizational structure impacts communication and decision-making and overall effectiveness. Understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each structure helps organizations select the best fit based on their size, market, and strategic goals. Adapting the structure as the organization evolves is crucial for ongoing success. Let us see some common types of organizational structure. The first organizational structure is functional structure. In a functional structure, the organization is divided into departments based on functions such as marketing, finance, human resources, and operations. Each department is managed by a department head. The first advantage of functional structure is specialization of work. Employees can focus on their specific functions, promoting expertise. And the second advantage of functional structure is clarity of the structure. There is a clear line of authority and responsibility under functional organizational structure. But the disadvantage of the functional structure is poor interdepartmental communication. Departments may become isolated, leading to poor interdepartmental communication. The second type of organizational structure is divisional structure. In a divisional structure, the organization is divided into semi-autonomous divisions based on products, markets, or geographical areas. Each division operates like its own company with its own resources and objectives. The first advantage of divisional structure is in terms of its focus. Divisions can tailor strategies to specific markets or products. The second advantage of divisional structure is in terms of its flexibility. The divisional structure provides faster response to market changes. But the disadvantage of divisional structure is resource duplication. Resources may be duplicated across divisions, leading to inefficiency. The third organizational structure is matrix structure. The matrix structure is a hybrid organizational model that blends elements of both functional and divisional structures. In this system, the traditional one employee, one boss rule is replaced by a grid-like command structure. Employees typically report to two authorities simultaneously: a functional manager based on their specific skills set or department, such as marketing or engineering, and a project or a product manager focused on specific outputs or campaigns. One of the primary strengths of a matrix structure is its dynamic nature. It allows an organization to share skilled resources across various projects rather than looking them into a single department. This facilitates a highly efficient use of talents and enables the company to adapt quickly to changing project needs. And the second advantage of matrix structure is enhanced communication. By requiring interaction between functional departments and project teams, the matrix structure encourages collaboration and information sharing across different parts of the organization, leading to more integrated solutions. By requiring interaction between functional departments and project teams, the functional structure encourages collaboration and information sharing across different parts of the organization, leading to more integrated solutions. But a matrix structure has also its own limitations. The first limitation of the matrix structure is related to role confusion. The dual reporting system is the most significant drawback of this structure. Employees may struggle to understand who has a final say on their tasks, leading to ambiguity regarding authority, accountability, and specific responsibilities. The second disadvantage is potential for conflict. Because employees answer to different managers, they often face opposing demands. Functional managers may prioritize departmental standards, while project managers may prioritize speed and delivery. These conflicting priorities can create tension, a stress and power struggle within the team members. The fourth organizational structure is flat structure. A flat structure minimizes the levels of management often used by startups or small organizations. It promotes a broad span of control. Now let us see some of the advantages of flat organizational structure. The first advantage of flat structure is quick decision making. Fewer layers lead to faster communication and decision making. The second advantage is empowerment. Employees often have more autonomy and responsibility. But flat structure has its own disadvantages. The first disadvantage of flat structure is limited growth. As organizations grow, maintaining a flat structure can become challenging. The second disadvantage of a flat structure is role ambiguity. Employees may face uncertainty regarding their roles and responsibility. The fifth organizational structure is a network structure. In a network structure, an organization maintains core functions while outsourcing non-core activities to specialized partners or contractors. This flexible arrangement is often seen in modern, technological-driven companies. The first advantage of a network structure is adaptability, quick to adapt to changes and focus on core competencies. And the second advantage of a network structure is cost effectiveness. It reduces overhead by outsourcing non-essential functions. Now let us see the disadvantages of a network structure. The first disadvantage is dependency. Reliance on external vendors can pose risks. The second disadvantage is control challenges. Maintaining control over outsourced functions may be difficult in a network structure. Now let us proceed to the staffing function of management. Staffing function of management involves finding, assessing and hiring the right talent, as well as developing and retaining them. In modern management, this is often referred as a human resource management or HRM, but every manager has staffing responsibility. Some of the key activities of staffing function of management are recruitment and selection, training and development, and performance appraisal. An organization is only as good as its people. Poor staffing leads to incompetence and low productivity. Therefore, staffing function is a very important function of management. Recruitment is a process of attracting qualified candidates to fill job vacancies. This involves internal recruitment and external recruitment. Internal recruitment is a process of promoting or transferring existing employees to new positions, while external recruitment is a process of seeking candidates from outside of the organization through job posting, recruitment agencies, or career fairs. Let us see some of the importance of recruitment. Recruitment ensures a diverse talent pool. It also positions the organization as an attractive workforce. The second function of staffing is selection. Once candidates are attracted, the selection process involves evaluating and choosing the best candidates for the job. This includes application screening, interviews and testing. Application screening is a process of reviewing resumes and applications for qualifications. Interviewing is a process of conducting interviews to assess candidate skills, experience, and cultural fit. And testing is a process of assessing abilities of applicants through tests. Selection is important because it ensures that selected candidates possess the necessary skills and fit the organizational culture. The selection function is also reduce turnover by choosing candidates who align well with the company. The third activity of staffing is training and development. This function focuses on enhancing the skills and competence of employees to improve performance. It includes orientation programs, on-the-job training, and professional developments. Orientation program is a process of introducing new employees to the organization and its culture, while on-the-job training is providing hands-on experience in a real work environment. Professional development is a process of offering workshops, seminars, or further education opportunities for skill enhancement. Training and development improves performance and productivity. Training and development also increases job satisfaction and employee retention. The fourth activity of staffing function is performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is a systematic evaluation of employee performance over time. This function involves setting goals, providing feedback, and career development planning. Performance appraisal provides employees with a clear understanding of expectations. Performance appraisal is also identifies high performers for promotions and further development. The fifth activity of staffing function is succession planning. Succession planning prepares for future leadership and key position changes. This proactive staffing function includes identifying potential leaders and development programs. The importance of succession planning is it ensures continuity in leadership and critical roles. Succession planning also mitigates the risks associated with unexpected departures of key personnel. Overall, the staffing function is essential for building a competent and motivated workforce. A type of staffing process, such as recruitment, selection, training, performance appraisal, and succession planning, plays a pivotal role, aligning human resources with organizational goals. By implementing effective staffing strategies, organizations can enhance their productivity, reduce turnover, and foster a positive workplace culture. Let us proceed to the leading function of the organization. The leading function of management is also called directing function. It is a function of energizing the workforce. Planning, organizing, and staffing functions are preparatory steps. Leading is where the action happens. This function involves motivating subordinates, influencing individuals or teams as they work, selecting the most effective communication channels, and dealing with employee behavior issues. Leading is the interpersonal aspect of management. It is the art of influencing people so that they will contribute to the organization and group goals. Planning do not implement themselves. Leading inspires employees to execute their plans with passion and efficiency. Now let us see some of the key components of leading function. The first component of the leading function is motivation. Managers must understand what drives their employees and find ways to motivate them, whether through intrinsic or extrinsic factors, through different techniques including setting clear goals, providing feedback, and recognizing achievement. The second component of leading function is communication. Effective communication is vital for ensuring that information flows smoothly within an organization. Leaders must communicate goals, expectations, and feedback clearly and openly to foster transparent work environments. The third key component of leadership is team building. Managers should foster teamwork and collaboration among employees. Effective team dynamics lead to higher productivity and morale. This involves creating a supportive culture, encouraging diverse perspectives, and facilitating conflict resolution. The fourth key component of leading is conflict resolution. Conflicts are natural in any organization. Effective leaders must navigate and resolve conflicts constructively to maintain a positive work environment. Leading function is very important. Let us see some of the major importance of leading function. The first importance is achieving goals, and the second importance is enhances employee satisfaction. Leading function also facilitates changes, and leading promotes innovation. There are some of the major importance of the leading or directing function of management. Let us see some of the major styles of leadership. The first style of leadership is democratic leadership. A democratic leadership style is where a leader makes decisions based on input received from team members. It is a collaborative and consultative leadership style, where each team member has the opportunity to contribute to the direction of ongoing projects. And the second leadership style is autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership is the direct opposite of democratic leadership. In autocratic leadership, the leader makes all decisions on behalf of the team without taking any input or suggestion from team members. The leader holds all authority and responsibility. Autocratic leadership have absolute power and dictate all tasks to be undertaken. There is no consultation with employees before a decision is made. After the decision is made, everyone is expected to support the decision made by the leader. There is often some level of fear of the leader by the team members. And the third leadership style is laissez-faire leadership style. Laissez-faire leadership is accurately defined as a hands-off or passive approach to leadership. Instead, leaders provide their team members with the necessary tools, information, and resources to carry out their work tasks. The laissez-faire leadership approach is empowering to employees who are creative, skilled, and self-motivated. According to research, laissez-faire leadership is the least satisfying and least effective. The fourth leadership style is transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is all about transforming the business or groups by inspiring team members. Transformational leaders expect the best out of their team and push them consistently until their work, lives, and businesses go through a transformation or a considerable improvement. And the fifth leadership style is transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is more shorter and can be described as give and take kind of transaction. Transactional leadership establishes roles and responsibilities for each team members and encourages the work to be accomplished as scheduled. And the sixth kind of leadership is bureaucratic leadership. Bureaucratic leadership is a go-by-book type of leadership. Under bureaucratic leadership, process and regulations are followed according to policy with no room for flexibility. The seventh leadership style is servant leadership. Servant leadership involves a leader being a servant to the team first before being a leader. A servant leader strives to serve the needs of their team above their own. It is also a form of leading by example. Servant leaders try to find ways to develop, elevate, and inspire people, following their leads to achieve the best results. Now let us see the controlling function of management. The controlling function of management is one of the four fundamental functions of management, alongside planning, organizing, and leading or directing. It is a process of monitoring organizational performance, comparing it with established standards, and taking corrective actions when necessary to ensure that organizational goals are achieved. The controlling function is often described as the checking function of management. It ensures that actual activities conform to planned activities. Without effective control, managers cannot know whether the organization is achieving its objectives or resources are being used effectively. The primary purpose of controlling is to ensure that organization activities are performed according to plans and that the desired results are achieved. It acts as feedback mechanisms that helps managers adjust future plans and operations. Let us see the interrelationship of functions. It's important to note that these functions are not isolated steps that happens linearly and then stop. They are cyclical and interactive. Planning feeds controlling. You cannot control if you don't have a plan or standard to measure against. Controlling phase planning. Data from controlling phase helps managers create better, more realistic plan for the next cycle. Leading affects staffing. Good leadership aids in retaining staff, reducing the burdens of recruitment. Next, let's explore the managerial roles. Henry Herzberg, a well-known management theorist, developed his framework based on observational studies of practicing managers. Herzberg argued that managerial work is characterized by brevity, fragmentation, and informality. Managers spend their time managing numerous demands across three distinct yet highly interconnected role groups. They are interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Interpersonal roles are called people-oriented roles. These roles stem directly from the manager's formal authority and status within the organization. They involve building and maintaining relationships. The first interpersonal role is figurehead role. This role is largely ceremonial and symbolic. Managers sign documents, host important visitors, attend social functions, and represent the organization in official capacities. For example, a chief executive officer attending ribbon-cutting ceremony for new branch or signing an official company charter. This can be considered as figurehead role of a manager. The second interpersonal role is leader role. This is perhaps the most critical interpersonal role. It involves motivating subordinates, directing their activities, staffing or hiring as well as firing employees, training and generally shaping the team's culture and performance levels. It bridges formal authority with the needs for human motivation. For example, a team manager coaching an underperforming employee and designing an incentive structure for high achievers. The third interpersonal role is liaison role. Managers act as a communication hub, both internally and externally. They maintain a network of contacts outside their direct chain of command. This role is crucial for gathering intelligence and building alliances. For example, a project manager meeting with managers from other departments to coordinate dependencies for assured project timelines can be considered as a liaison role of managers. The second managerial role is informational role. This informational role is called knowledge-oriented role. These roles center on the manager's function as the nerve center of the unit or organization, processing and disseminating knowledge. The first informational role is monitor role. The manager actively seeks out and receives a wide variety of internal and external information. They scan the environment and monitor internal operations. This information gathering is often informal and continuous. For example, reading industry journals and reviewing performance dashboards, or causally talking to staff on the factory floor to boost morale can be considered as monitor role of the manager. The second informational role is disseminator role. Once information is gathered, the manager must filter and distribute relevant parts to the appropriate subordinates. This ensures that team members have the necessary context to perform their tasks effectively. The third informational role is spokesperson role. In this role, the manager transmits official information outward to outsiders, for example, to stakeholders, customers, government agencies, and to the public. They speak on behalf of their organization or their unit. For example, a director of the marketing representing the company's quarterly results to financial analysts or responding to a press inquiry can be considered as a spokesperson role of managers. The third managerial role is decisional role, known as action-oriented role of managers. This role involves making strategic choices and taking actions based on the information gathered. These roles are where the manager uses their formal authority to commit organizational resources. The first decisional role is entrepreneurial role. Managers are responsible for initiating and overseeing change projects designed to improve the organization's performance or adapt to new conditions. They are proactive agents of change. The second decisional role of manager is disturbance handler role. This role is reactive. Managers must step in to resolve unexpected problems, conflicts, and crises that disrupt the normal flow of operations in an organization. This often requires immediate, high-stakes decision-making. And the third decisional role is resource allocator role. Managers are responsible for deciding who gets what, when, and how much. This involves scheduling, budgeting, and authorizing requests, and setting priorities for the use of all organizational resources, such as time, money, equipment, and personnel. And the fourth decisional role is negotiator role. Managers spend significant time negotiating agreements with subordinates, peers, suppliers, customers, and even government officials. These negotiations aim to secure favorable terms for the organization. Next, we examine the management theories. The historical roots of contemporary management practices can be traced through several key developments and schools of thought that have shaped how organizations operate today. Management theory is broadly categorized into historical schools that laid the foundation and modern approaches that address the complexity of today's globalized and highly dynamic environments. The first management theory is classical management theory. The classical era focused primarily on efficiency, structure, and productivity. The underlying assumption of classical management theory was that there is one best way to organize and manage work. The first classical management theory is scientific management theory, developed by Frederick Winslow Taylor. Taylor is often called the father of scientific management theory. His focus was on improving efficiency at the shop floor level through scientific study. The core concept of scientific management theory is applying scientific methods, such as time and motion studies, to determine the most efficient way to perform tasks. Some of the key principles of scientific management theory are: develop a true science for each element of a man's work, that is, standardization. The second key principle of scientific management theory is scientifically select, train, and develop the workman. And the third key principle of scientific management theory is divide work and responsibility almost equally between management and workers. But scientific management theory has its own limitations. Scientific management theory is highly mechanistic. It treated workers as machines, ignoring social and psychological needs of employees in an organization. And the second classical management theory is administrative theory of management. This theory is developed by Henry Fayol. Fayol focused on the entire organization structure and management functions, rather than just the individual workers. The administrative management theory identified 5 primary functions of management. They are planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling, and proposed 14 principles of management: example, unit of command, scalar chain, and division of work. The administrative management theory provided the foundational framework for what managers do, which remains relevant in modern management education. The third classical management theory is bureaucratic management theory, developed by Max Weber. Max Weber sought to eliminate nepotism and inefficiency by creating a rational, formal, and organizational structure. The core concept of bureaucratic management theory is that an ideal organization is a bureaucracy characterized by strict hierarchy, formal rules and procedures, division of labor based on technical qualifications, impersonality in relationships, and career orientation. The bureaucratic management theory provided the blueprint for large-scale and stable organizations, such as governments, military, and large corporations, by emphasizing structure and formal authority. The second management theory is behavioral management theory. The behavioral management theory is called human relations theory. This school emerged as a direct response to the dehumanizing aspects of classical theory, recognizing that human factors significantly influence productivity. The first human relations theory is the Hawthorne studies, developed by Elton Mayo. These studies, conducted at Western Electric Hawthorne Works, unexpectedly revealed that social factors and feelings valued were more important productivity drivers than physical working conditions, like lighting. The core concept is employees' moral, group norms, and informational social relationships significantly impact output. The second human relations theory is human relations movement, building on Hawthorne, theorists like Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy of needs, and the Douglas MacGregor, Theory X and Theory Y, emphasized motivation, leadership style, and employee participation. The Theory X, or the pessimistic view, assumes employees inherently dislike work, must be coerced, controlled, and directed. On the other hand, Theory Y, or the optimistic view, assumes employees are self-motivated, seeks responsibility, and can exercise self-direction if committed to organizational goals. The significance of the human relations movement shifted the focus from how work is done to how people are managed. The fourth management theory is quantitative management theory. This approach developed largely out of the mathematical and statistical methods used during World War II, and sometimes called the operations research theory. The core concept of the quantity management theory is applying mathematical models, statistics, and information modeling to improve decision making in areas like inventory control, scheduling, and resource allocation. This theory is essential for modern fields like logistics, supply chain management, and financial modeling. The fourth management theory is modern management theory. As organizations grew more complex and faced volatile environments, management thinking adapted to embrace flexibility, external factors, and complexity. The first modern management theory is systems theory. This theory views the organization not as a collection of isolated parts, but as an interrelated and interdependent systems composed of interrelated subsystems, example marketing, production, and finance. The key concepts are open systems and synergy. As an open system, the organization consistently interacts with its external environment, such as suppliers, customers, and competitors, by taking inputs and producing outputs. And the other one is synergy. It indicates that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The second modern management theory is contingency theory, and the contingency theory is called situational approach. This theory is opposite of the classical approach. It stated that there is no single best way to manage. The appropriate management style, structure, or technique depends entirely on the specific situation or contingency factors. Contingency factors include the size of the organization, the technology used, and the stability or certainty of the external environment. The third management theory is total quality management theory and learning organizations, driven by global competition, especially from Japan in the 1980s. Total quality management emphasizes continuous improvement across all organizational processes, driven by customer focus. Total quality management leaders, example Deming and Duran, focused on reducing errors, empowering employees in quality control, and used statistical methods for process improvement. The second aspect is learning organization, an organization that facilitates the learning of its members and continuously transforms itself. It emphasizes system thinking, shared vision, and team learning. This is all about this lecture. Thank you so much. I appreciate your focused attention throughout this session. We have successfully covered the foundational principles that constitute the core of this management course.